And Will said, okay, and we're gonna put it out front by where they come in and register for the appointment. And it's free to them, and she's got a car, she goes around the coffee cart and stuff, go, gives them coffee and snacks.
We'll come up there and get that.
Okay.
What?
Well, here's the thing. You can't control. And the thing of it is because of that, Houston and Dallas and all that, it's just uncontrollable. And, you know, at least we know the veterans are getting it also.
Right.
And we do, the popcorn is in too, it's in the hall. We're gonna start the popcorn machine, we order the.
Right. So maybe we have our stuff out.
Why? Well done. I don't have a problem.
Lillian.
She had some marshmallow treats out there.
How's it going?
Jill.
Nice to see ya.
You as well.
They're overwhelmed, stuff. Right now, we're trying to do stock up items like the coffee thing, the sugar thing, they don't have one there.
Yeah, we got to organize it.
We just want it nice to them. You know, and they wanted to see if you were donating some, like she tells, this is good, we're here for you.
Maybe the mayor put out a can. She went about a can, put out, and I'm like.
Good morning, Liz.
I don't want that. Now, some will come back and throw it on the next thing, we have,
Where they feel obligated, especially to see the can.
Right.
but I don't want to do that.
Good morning, everyone.
She's stuck in.
I'm so excited.
She's stuck in 19.
This is a nice visual setup you got here for us on Zoom.
Oh, well, thanks. That's the, it's called the owl camera. It's like the owl. It's real tall. Got one eyeball on the top and it zooms 360 the entire.
Oh, look at you. Yeah. I've been on a lot of Zoom meetings these past couple of years, and usually it's pretty bad hybrid, but this is a good setup.
Thanks. Thanks so much. So we're still waiting for a few others to pop in the room. I have some of my veteran comrades in the back as well, so, and they're getting ready for a meeting today too. So I was trying to get, let's see if I can pull that
Yeah,
up.
I like to have like a day where we do lunch for. Yeah, or HEB, good.
Sandwiches and those, your wraps, share, fun.
I like to do something for Memorial Day, because it doesn't close on Memorial Day. So that we could do something for that, you know,
Yeah, we're moving our meeting.
so we're gonna start that,
And so I don't know, it was, I was trying to share my screen with you all so that you can see my,
Yeah.
or see the agenda, actually.
That's why I want to do something nice at the VA before Memorial Day. Before you got to have coffees. Before we have coffees out. Wanna get together.
Yeah, I think it was all here, yeah.
Miss Liz, are you doing okay this morning? I do hope everyone is okay.
Nobody knew that.
Yeah, so they were in, more people coming in and even, I came by Friday because I got some people. I brought them up here and when I brought them out, I went to everybody in the. Hello. Hello. Hey, your friend. Okay, this is Mr. Lorraine. This is,
Hello.
How are you? This is Steph, Commander of Post 33. How are you?
All right.
I am good.
Well, that's me, sir.
There we go.
He was at the VA, and he peeked in and seen me volunteering, and, yeah,
I think that came up.
we had a little talk about it.
We talked about it. The look is here. We talked about it.
She's,
It's.
yeah, we here. Yeah, so,
All right, well, I'm waiting, I'm gonna call my, secretary now.
Was it on here?
like,
You want that next week?
I'm leaving Friday, and I'll be back on Sunday.
make me laugh. Please, with the South End Association, is it Ed Graham?
South End Greater Historic Community Association. This one.
Okay, nice to meet you.
You as well.
All right, how are you? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna tell you the familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your name? Century? What's that?
She wants a cup, she wants a soda.
Ain't no. Maybe so, I think, wow. Well, that's why I see on TV or something like that. Well, maybe. I was good to see you though. Yeah, it's always good to have that.
Absolutely, absolutely, especially ours.
That's right, that's right. You know, I have one classmate, he was making a little phone where he was just playing, you know, something with the friends, he was getting.
Yes, ma'am.
We get a lot of prize.
Correct.
Okay, we didn't live in California, we didn't act in California, you understand. They were able to tell, you know, they all know our parents, so, you know, it wasn't like today. They just, all they did was mention the name, that stopped everything.
In the bud.
Right, and then you really already told you. It's your mother name, your father's
Dad.
name,
Yes.
and, I lived down the street from my, assistant professor when I went to, junior high school. He said, "Man, I seen the data, I started telling my employer at school, which I wouldn't put on the data. So, you know, inside I was doing like this.
Yeah.
But outside, I had to hold it, my dad had told us that because he was going to school together, it's not believable, so.
My mama
I-
came. My mama came, I burned it out, and she was my teacher.
Oh, baby, see, my daddy would have came, baby. Oh, it would have been nice. I told that to my aunt. I said, my dad is gonna go to jail. She don't come. She said, I told my children that. I said, yeah. I said, but my dad, man, see, you didn't mean it. Cause her son told me, he said, yeah, I gave my mama some money to bail me out of jail. I said, what? If you knew he was going, you should have known how not to.
I knocked it over.
Yeah, I said, so no, well, I paid it. I said, no. I wouldn't even, you were, baby, can you imagine, hey, daddy, I'm gonna go to jail and I, need some more money. Who does that?
I don't keep your money.
It's nice talking to you, Queen.
You too. Well,
Good morning, good morning. So it's 10 minutes after 10. And some will be flowing in and out, as we, engage this afternoon. This morning into the afternoon, so I definitely wanted to thank each and every one of you all for, being in attendance, and to all of those that are not here currently, I hope you make it safely to your destinations. Also, I'm ecstatic to be able to engage with our broader community. I'm in the process also of sharing this live to all social media groups and platforms that we are currently on. And it is also being recorded for individuals that needed to go back and reference. So without further ado, I would like for those that are on live, if you would please introduce yourself, and let us know a little bit about what it is you do. And then we'll move into our agenda. So let's see, I have Miss Jill Howell and I have Miss Lizzie Powers, I'm sorry. Now, Miss Powers, if you don't mind, please introduce yourself, and we'll be glad to welcome you.
Hi, I'm Liza Powers. I'm with the Bullard Center for Environmental and Climate Justice, and I help with research. I do more qualitative stuff. And I am originally from East Texas. So I grew up on the Sabine River of the Texas side. I spent as much time like in Logansport, Louisiana as I did Center, Texas. And that's it.
Awesome, awesome, Miss Liza. Again, welcome. And we here in the South End community welcome you and appreciate your engagement with us and many others, actually. Miss Jill Howell, if you don't mind, please introduce yourself to us.
Sure. My name's Jill Howell. I'm currently the executive director of a small environmental nonprofit called Upstream Watch. I'm based out of Belfast, Maine. I work in water quality issues and environmental advocacy. I first met Chris back in 2017, 2018, I think, when I was a graduate student, and did some air monitoring down in Beaumont. So I'm really glad to be here and provide whatever input I can.
Awesome, awesome. As you all know, my name is Christopher Jones. I am the acting president of the South End Charlton-Pollard Greater Historic Community Association, which is our new neighborhood association. I am also an honorable discharged military veteran, medically discharged, actually. I've been engaged in my community ever since I came back from the military in 2003. And, you know, just continuing to push forward. Again, I live in the South End, I live in Beaumont, and I'm ecstatic to just be engaged with many other neighbors. So I have the privilege to merge two different projects in our association. And these two different projects, they're actually different in scope, but they're the same in the collective data and the quantitative data that we will be engaging with our neighbors. So in response to, and I'll just read the introduction, in response to the pressing challenges faced by the greater Beaumont Golden Triangle communities, including the threats of natural disasters, industrial accidents, and public health disparities exacerbated by environmental pollution, we propose an initiative to integrate projects. This initiative aims to enhance both the resilience of our community against disasters and effectiveness of our public health data systems. By combining the strengths of the South End Charlton-Pollard Greater Historic Community Association, scenario planning for disaster recovery and resilience with the community-driven geospatial approach to public health led by and partnered with Prairie View A&M University and other partners, we're positioned to address the multifaceted needs of our community through a unified, impactful approach. So, we all know, Beaumont, Texas is uniquely positioned between Houston and Lake Charles, Louisiana. We're on Interstate 10, and most of the times if Louisiana have a flood or a storm, you best believe we're going to have some type of effects. And so the reason that is especially in 2003, Louisiana and South Louisiana, Southwest Louisiana, and Southeast Texas actually were hit by several small storms that did cause a lot of structural damage and a lot of displaced residents or victims thereof. So in order to engage ourselves and be a productive community association, we definitely wanted to engage in understanding where we are when it comes to, our disaster resilience. Of course, I live in the South End, but every outlet into my neighborhood or out of my neighborhood is an underpass. And during Harvey and Imelda, we experienced being entrapped in the boundaries of the association. We did have access to emergency medical transport, but the transport as well was on this side of the underpass, which then restricted us from reaching medical facility. So those are some of the things that we'll be looking to address in these types of engagements. Public health improvement. Of course, we're going to identify ways that we can improve our public health, and it's not just based on, it's not just based on, breathing problems or anything of that matter. It's going to focus on overall health disparities that we may experience in Southeast Texas. Whether it's being able to get to, just like I mentioned, get to a hospital or a medical facility during a storm. Those are the things that we would definitely like to address. Integrating the scenario will give us the opportunity, again, to host workshops like these, as well as get information from our community. We do have a few forms, actually, We do have a form that we asked all participants to fill out. This is the participation form. That form has the name, organization, address, and anything that you as the individual or organization have as far as expertise, which role you would like to partake. If there is compensation that comes from your engagement and or the information that you give, please let us know so that we can accommodate accordingly. And if you are requesting compensation from the association for your partnership, please make sure that you fill this form out and put those details in that form. Additional information, if you would also like to refer someone from a group or an organization or an individual that you know, there's also the referral opportunity. And then there's the agreement or the consent that we have. I ask again that if everyone would please fill those forms out, as we will keep those for records, as well as ongoing engagements and communication. Again, our neighborhood association is in its fresh building phase. So networking, our phone book, everything, we're building from the ground up. So I definitely appreciate the opportunity. Um. Let's see. So, we will have, again, I was expecting others to be either online. But again, they'll be in and out, so please forgive that. The scope and stakeholder engagement is the discussion for now. I would say discussion of the project's scope, including both disaster resilience and public health improvements. Are there any recommendations for or anything that we would like to discuss on the scope of the project? Again, I will definitely let you all know that we are doing this solely for data collection. And so that we will know in association where where some of our strengths are and who possesses those strengths, as well as some of those weaknesses that we may find throughout the entire scenario planning. So the overall goal is to, again, get this data, be able to use the data and have a focus-driven outreach and as well as resources to give to our neighbors. The identification of roles for stakeholders, again, we have a stakeholders list that we have compiled. Most of the current stakeholders as of currently that have filed is, of course, the city government, the county government, with emphasis in their emergency management systems, as well as, again, like I said, Prairie View A&M, Lamar University, several individuals in Lamar University, as well as Lamar Institute of Technology. We've reached out to our faith-based communities. Again, hoping that, again, we could build that line of communication and correspondence, response, and engagement. So again, we are looking to engage a lot of people. Again, this is not just going to happen in the South End, but we will have the opportunity for engagement citywide, which I think is phenomenal, especially for the South End. Again, we are surrounded by underpasses, and to be able to communicate with other neighborhoods that may flood first, or they may flood first and still be able to get outside of their neighborhood or outside of and evacuate. Well, we would like to definitely engage with emergency management to see how we can update our evacuation route, and one that would be specific to the South End community, as well as our industrial neighbors that's also in the South End as well. And so our industrial partners and neighbors include, but not limited to, ExxonMobil, the Port of Beaumont, Louis Dreyfus, Arkema, Lower Nature's Valley Authority, Martin Entergy, Modern Manufacturing, and those are just some of Richard, RC, the RC group. So like, there's several industries around us that we will be reaching out to in the coming days. Again, this is our first and official meeting, so I'm about that. Any questions as of yet? To suggestions on stakeholder involvement and engagement? Awesome, awesome. So another idea that we will be doing for stakeholder engagement, just to let you all know, we meet every second Tuesday of the month with our neighborhood association. And so what we'll do there in that time is also give the opportunity for neighbors to brush up on what we have discussed, as well as meet other individuals. And we'll try to, again, make our meetings as accessible as possible. We do have the Zoom link. We do have YouTube. We do have Facebook. And so, and we also have, you know, our neighbor, the American Legion Post 33, located at 1320 Pennsylvania Avenue, that will be meeting as well. And again, it's not just to collect data, it's to build these relationships. It's to build resiliency amongst our neighbors, become familiar with our neighbors as well. So those are just some of the ideas, like, you know, small breakfast, and we're talking about a specific thing within the resiliency, or lunch, dinner, you know, having, you know, little engagements, what they call it, spoken word night or something, open mic night, that's what it is. So we're also hosting an open mic night where we'll be showcasing some of the talents of our youth, which is also a great opportunity for us to get this information and that engagement amongst them and the parent. Because we have several youth in our community who are STEM educated, whereas the parent is just regular general education, right? And so I would definitely like to bridge those gaps in between our age groups, because I feel that some of the things that our students are learning will be beneficial to us as a general body, as well as give us some insight on who and how to point out individuals that can lead individuals in resiliency. Again, being resilient comes with a lot. So I'm definitely looking forward to taking as much opportunity and time engaging with our neighbors to let them know on ways that we can be and build resilience. So the exploratory scenario planning introduction, and I would say let's do a little short break because that's what the agenda calls for, but I'm not. Yeah, the exploratory scenario planning. I wanted, I was hoping that one of the representatives from the Lincoln Institute would have been able to attend this morning to give us that detailed information, especially with that expertise that they have. This is the association's first time participating in anything of this nature, as well as being able to engage on this level. The association was the first and the only community association to ever apply for the RFP that was offered by the Lincoln Institute. Also, with the Lincoln Institute, we wrote a killer proposal to them, and it was rewarded, or it was accepted, and hopefully we'll get, you know, more attention as they have reached out to do some press conferences, as well as our local news medias have also put word out that they're looking to do, you know, some press conferences and some sound bites and different things like that as we engage But again, I do want you all to know that we will be engaging for at least a year and a half. And again, I'm ecstatic about it, and hope that we can, again, build relationship more than anything. Any questions so far? Any suggestions so far? Awesome. Awesome. So we do have another meeting on Thursday, on Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. And that engagement will be at 6 p.m. at the same location as well as the same Zoom. So please mark your calendars for that. We'll go to our expected outcomes and impact. The integrated project will deliver a robust framework for disaster preparedness, incorporating health equity into our resilience preparedness, into our resilience strategies. This framework will be informed by scenario planning and spatial analysis, ensuring a comprehensive approach to community safety and well-being. By incorporating environmental and social determinants of health into our public health data systems, we will enable more precise and effective interventions for at-risk populations, leading to improved health outcomes and reduced disparities. Policy and community benefits. The project will generate actionable recommendations for policies aimed at mitigating health disparities and enhancing disaster resilience. It will also increase community awareness and capacity, fostering a proactive and prepared community. Again, as I said, we definitely want to engage with our neighbors, but we want to do it with purpose, right? We definitely want to be the advocacy group that we need, but we need to have data. We need to know the disparities of our population, of our boundaries. So the boundaries of the association are from Avenue A, let's say the west banks of Avenue A to the west banks of the river, from the north side of Washington Boulevard to the north side of Gilbert Street. That's would all include Jefferson County courthouse as well. And so the Charlton-Pollard Elementary School, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, the Alternative Learning Pathways Center, all of those institutes are within, learning institutions or within our boundaries. Again, we have the Better Business Bureau, the Beaumont Chamber of Commerce, the industries that I named earlier, and we have a few grocery stores or one meat market actually. And so to gather all of those stakeholders is pertinent. But like I said, I definitely wanted to be able to know what we would be, let the neighbors know what we will be engaging in. Is there any questions? Awesome. So our project deliverables, as requested by the Lincoln Institute for Land Policy, as well as I would like to bring some deliverables to the engagement with the Prairie View A&M as well. So these are our deliverables that we feel will be beneficial to our neighborhood association as we go throughout this year and a half. So a comprehensive report that synthesizes the findings from scenario planning workshops and geospatial health determinants analysis. Okay, so we have the survey that is, I want to say, is integrated or being completed by Lamar University. And we also have. And we also have the requested toolkit that the Lincoln Institute is also requesting that we put together. Now, this toolkit is a written toolkit as well as for our neighbors. Our toolkit will go a little bit further, but it will all be in writing as far as what we did to compile this toolkit and as well as how we went about receiving items that could be included in the toolkit other than what's in writing. So for a second, let me move over here and show you all just some items that we do have I did for toolkits. So there's the Ready America toolkit, and I think I might get a little closer so you all can see this. So this is one toolkit, and everything that's in this toolkit consists of a 12-hour light stick, Google goggles, dusk mask, survival blanket, pair of nitrile gloves, snack food bar, water pouch, whistle, and pocket tissues. So that comes already compiled and it's in here. And we could, hand these out to our neighbors and participants as well as have that on the list of items to include in the toolkit. I will be asking for sponsorships for a lot of the items so that it will cut costs to the association. And any other items that we will add to this will also be included in that toolkit as well. So also in the toolkit is a mask. It's not what's it, N95 or N45? But it's definitely a safety mechanism that I would definitely recommend you have, or we put in our toolkits, especially after experiencing COVID. Again, during storms, natural disasters, there is some emissions that come out from whether it's the ground, Jill knows. We have, a sewer overflow issue here in the Beaumont, Texas area where sewer, escapes its containment and then runs on the street for a while. But there's no cleanup. And if you're helping someone after, a heavy downpour and we've seen certain things like that, a mask is definitely going to help you not only save yourself, but be able to save others as well. Towels, microfiber towels. One of the best things I could ever think about putting in a toolkit was microfiber towels, not just terry cloth or just random towels. These are microfiber towels. It's very good for helping you clean. Very good for cleaning, very good for getting, water and whatnot out of the way. They're super absorbent. I wouldn't recommend, you sticking this under your door trying to keep the water out. I wouldn't recommend that. But these are definite, they do come in handy. Again, cleaning anything, wiping anything. And I will say they're pretty big. They're pretty big. But again, microfiber towels is something else you could definitely have in your toolkit. I have it is battery operated, but since I got it, I never put batteries in it because all I do is just wind it up. Works. So that was the waste batteries, right? And so this is another item that we would like to incorporate in our toolkit, so that residents will have, if, sometimes here in Southeast Texas, bright sunny days and the lights the lights will go out. So, definitely want to be able to know what's going on in tune. Best ways to do that is with having this radio. Again, winds up. It also charges. It's USB port as well as Android port. There's reserve battery in here. Once you charge it, it gives the weather radio only. But again, there is the band, the FM, AM, and then there's, of course, your solar power joint is right here. And then you have a light on the back as well. I think a really good job is called the Voyager. Uh, uh, Crank K5 is what it is, and we'll be looking along the lines of something like that. Again, disinfectant wipes, Clorox wipes, Lysol wipes, those are very detrimental. We would also say, some flushable wipes, for number one, number two. As well as full body wipes. These are body wipes that are not, these are like clean your whole body. These are not for flushing. So make sure if you purchase any of these, or once we get these, that will specify what to flush and what not to flush. Also, I didn't have any of these items in my possession, but I definitely would like to let us know other items like baby bottles. Any Pampers that may be in need for a baby or a toddler. Definitely make sure that you have those on standby, not what you would use on a daily basis. That would be your emergency kit, so to speak. As well as female care products. I don't have female care products, but those are essential items for toolkit, especially for many of our mothers and sisters, nieces and cousins that we may come in contact with as certain things happen during storm. People are evacuated, and sometimes stores are closed, boarded up. But if we can get these types of items and include those items as well as instructions or the toolkit, I think we will be on a road to building a resilient community. So that's the guides and toolkits designated to replicate our integrate. Again, as we build this conversation, as we find out more information, this toolkit may grow because this is something else that we find or would recommend having in a particular disaster. Now, mind you, I've said a whole bunch about flooding. I have not mentioned anything about forest fires, which they're frequent in Texas. Wildfires rather are frequent in Texas, more frequented. If you have not noticed, almost all of North Texas experienced a forest fire, a wildfire, and it wasn't just in the forest. So, we definitely want to be able to have individuals prepared for that type of scenario. Another scenario that we don't, or we rarely experience here in Southeast Texas is earthquakes. I have not heard of an earthquake in Southeast Texas. I have not. But what I do know is that we do have evidence of sinkholes, which is equivalent to. So, and most of these sinkholes, as of right now, they're happening around like major streets and, you know, things like that. So it's nothing grand like what we have seen, like say for instance in Florida or something of that nature, where it's a whole block that seemed to have, or a whole house that seemed to have, disappeared. But we definitely want to be able to, again, think of anything that would disrupt our normalcy. And, after COVID, we're trying to rebuild a new normal. So, we definitely want to maintain what we've come up with so far. Any questions as of yet? Awesome, awesome. Another scenario that we want to incorporate, again, I did mention that we live around several neighbors of industry. Again, the Port of Beaumont, ExxonMobil, Kansas City Railways, or just to name a few. Our now approach to scenarios would be of something of a man-made accident, especially where we would have to shelter in place. And I so wished we had our scenario professional, because if we were to plug that in where we would have to shelter in place right now in the South End or in Beaumont, I feel there would be several individuals that are affected and may even be unalived due to those effects. Because many of us live in older homes that have not been weatherized to, I guess, a current standard. And for most people, that may sound scared, that may sound scary or outside of their reach. But I know the state of Texas has several weatherization programs that we will be looking into so that we can build that resiliency, especially if we have to shelter in place. And most of the times, that may come at any given time. So, and sheltering in place doesn't necessarily have to be based on a man-made accident, but being that we live around, plants and stuff, sheltering in place is something that, can save lives. But if we don't have the right means to, then, we're looking at the demise of many people. So that's one of the largest, I would say, areas of resiliency. And that's that's in our identification process, or identifying areas of weaknesses, and identifying resources. Again, I know that, shelter in place, you turn off your AC, you make sure you close your windows, close your doors, different things like that. But not everybody in the community is informed on that level. So we definitely want to be able to get that information out to them as well as I know there is a shelter in place SIP card that we can get from our industry neighbors and include it in our toolkit as well. I'm not sure about upgrading, mask. We do have a mask in the toolkit, but we all know that there are certain masks for certain things. So we would definitely, dig deeper into how we would, build our resiliency if we have to shelter in place. And that for a lot of people, I really want to start there first, so that we can address that as well as get those resources or that program out to our neighbors so that they can get new windows or something of that nature, weatherize their homes. Any questions as of now? Cool. Another, area of resiliency, excuse me, that we'll be also, touching on probably later down the line is mental health and or, hostage situations. Where, you know, we have universities and schools again that are in our boundaries and within our city. And we want to be able to be sustainable in a situation that, you know, we're not sure of. So as we get closer to the, I wanna say maybe like October, November time, that's when we'll start talking about that type of resiliency. And it was something else that it was another idea that a student, mind you, this was a elementary student, no, I'm sorry, a middle school student, rendered to, as far as an idea. I think I was kind of speaking to them and they was like, oh, what would be cool is if, you know, there was a terroristic threat. Now, mind you, for us, we'd be like, that's never gonna happen, but for a young mind, they might wanna know how to be resilient under a terroristic threat. Mind you, I have ExxonMobil, I have, you know, I live in the world's energy place right now. And, you know, history also says that this area, endured a race riot back in 1946. And so there were a lot of things that were lost in communities. Businesses were lost, homes were lost, lives were lost. Commerce probably was shut down for a while. So I kind of understood where he was when he, you know, asked about that particular or that type of scenario. It's different than a hostage situation, right? A terroristic threat is, you know, because we've all been to school, we've been to college. Some people didn't feel like taking an exam this particular day, so the whole school had a bomb threat. Those are terroristic threats, believe it or not. And as well as social media bullying. And again, if we're going to rake in our young individuals, we definitely have to consider their concerns as well when it comes to being resilient. Any questions? Awesome. So after the aftermath, a Ready and Restorative and Resilient Community Association project overview, our community, the South End Charlton-Pollard Greater Historic Community Association, has been accepted to participate in a project focused on planning for disasters and becoming more resilient. This project is about preparing for things like floods, hurricanes, and other emergencies, whether they're caused by nature or humans. It's all about making sure our community is safer and better prepared for whatever might come our way. We are going to be working together with experts and other community members like you all to plan for different situations that could happen in the future. This include things like flooding, chemical spills, hurricanes, and more. By planning for these scenarios, we can be better prepared to handle them if they happen. Who's involved? Our project team includes members from our community association, local government agencies, emergency responders, schools, industries, and other organizations, including outside of Texas, like Jill Hall. we're all gonna work together to make our community safer and stronger, as well as build a large and grand network. Why it matters, by planning ahead for disasters, we can reduce their impact and keep everyone safer. We want to make sure that our community is ready to handle anything that comes our way, whether it's a natural disaster or something caused by, again, humans. Again, human error is something we see often, a wreck on the street, trains moving too fast and then they tip over. So there's, and again, being surrounded by train tracks or trains, locomotives that carry from liquids to dry goods, we definitely want to be able to have a say in how those things are moved about in our community. Our goal is to develop workshops and plans that will help our community be more resilient in the face of disasters. We want everyone to know what to do and how to stay safe if something happens. We also hope that we can learn that what we learn can help other communities facing similar challenges. One of the things, I want to stop right there just for a second. One of the things I mentioned earlier is, in order to be resilient, you have to be right. And I'm not talking about mentally stable, but you have to be right. You have to be, make sure that you're okay. Make sure that you mentally, you are able to give aid to other individuals. And there's really, I mean, even as a military veteran, I'm not gonna say that comes easy, right? So we're going to probably have to, and this is why that relationship has to be an ongoing one, because when these particular situations come about, we don't want to have somebody that wants to help but can't, because they can't deal with the devastation they may see. Again, bodies you may see, death you may see, somebody injured, blood, different things like that. The individual has to be ready for that. And so I want to see if we could possibly identify individuals that would exemplify those type of traits and characteristics. Again, the project participation form will give us some insight, but to be in a crazy scenario or a crazy situation, and still be able to keep your head on straight and be able to make effective moves, is, again, and that's paramount for not only you, the person that's saving individuals, but as well as those lives that are being saved. How can you help? Your participation and input are crucial to the success of this project. We need everyone's ideas and perspectives to make sure we're planning for all possible scenarios and keeping our community safe. Any question about or idea about other scenarios that I did not mention that we could possibly include and incorporate in our resilience studies, just for a question. And if you can't think of one now, I would beacon you to write that in an email, respond to our email and let us know, hey, brain fart, I had a scenario, this type of, this type, that type. Again, we are seeing, I wouldn't say, so we're seeing drastic changes in our climate. So drought was one of the things that we had last season. And that season is coming again. And if I'm not mistaken, we are under rainfall percentage already. So I'm in a little backyard, probably doing a few rain dances. Light rain though. Because we know here in Southeast Texas, a torrential downpour can definitely incapacitate our entire city. So we don't want that, but we definitely want to be able to be resilient and storing water, as I mentioned about, or keeping water on hand, potable water, bottled water. I would prefer, you know, BPH free bottled water. Or BPH free plastics, but that's just me. But definitely, we want to be able to be resilient in the time of drought as well. So project duration, this project will take about a year, and I want to say maybe even two. Like I said, a year and a half. I know the Lincoln Institute project ends in February. So we'll be delivering their deliverables throughout this time span up until February, as well as continuing that engagement, implementing what we have, come up with from our resiliencies, from our resilience studies, and, continuing to understand the health disparity that we may face within our communities. Again, the Prairie View led project with the, what is that? The community-driven geospatial approach to improving public health data systems. That project is going to be a 2-year project that they will be engaging with, again, doing air test monitoring, in-home and outside, as well as water testing, access to healthcare, access to health facilities, just different things that neighbors identify as a hindrance in our healthcare or the process thereof. So I'm looking forward to working that really, really well. Any questions? Awesome. Okay, so the community-driven geospatial approach to improving public health data systems. Project overview, the health of people, especially those who are already facing challenges, is being seriously affected by things like climate change and not having enough access to resources, services, and healthcare. I'll stop right there just for a second because I remember during Ike, yeah, I stayed during Ike. So I remember during Hurricane Ike, many neighbors within our area, again, everything on this side, you have to go through an underpass. So, a lot of that was obstructed. So the resources or outside resources like, Red Cross or, some others, FEMA even, weren't able to get into the area. So that's incumbent on us to be able to have some type of supplemental until the resources actually come in, right? And so that's one of the things that we're looking to do with the geospatial studies. This makes life harder for them for them and can lead to more health problems. In our area, Beaumont, Port Arthur, Texas, we're seeing a higher rate of chronic illnesses like asthma or cancer. These health issues are often linked to the environment, like pollution from factories and others. What we're doing, hold on, I'm sorry. Okay, I was just checking to make sure, seeing if anybody had a question. Awesome. So our plan is to work closely with the community to find out what's causing the health problems. Again, we're not doctors, but we'll definitely bring our neighbors to the place where they can have, little health fairs or checkups and, blood drives. So we'll definitely be able to, sponsor and or host those. We're looking to do a lot of it within the boundaries of our area. So Jefferson County, again, the schools, the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars is also in our area. So yeah, there's a lot of partnerships that we can again introduce our geospatial health studies. Who's involved? We got a team of experts again from different places working on this. They're from universities and local organizations, all with the goal of making our community healthier. Again, the city of Beaumont, Jefferson County, the city health department, Port Arthur Health Department, Jefferson County Health Annex. Many of them, many of our neighbors, government neighbors as well, are going to be engaged in this, in these endeavors, as well as the Democratic and Republican Party chairs. We're going to be reaching out to them as well so that they'll have this information also. Why it matters? By figuring out what's causing these health issues, we can make changes to improve things. This means better healthcare and fewer health problems for everyone, especially those who are most affected. And when we say better healthcare, we're not saying that our city healthcare is subpar. What we're saying is we want to complement the efforts that they're doing and enhance I would say our advocacy in building a healthier community. So that's where that comes in. And then also have the opportunity again for the City of Beaumont's Health Department to host any health fair or relay any health information to the community as well. Again, gives us that straight talk, that one-on-one opportunity in our neighborhood. What we hope to achieve, our goal is to use this information to make policies and plans of the association that will help reduce health problems. We want to make sure that everyone has access to good health care and that we're doing what we can as an association to make our environment better and healthier for everyone. How you can help, we need everyone's input to make this work. If you see something that affects your health, or if you have ideas how to make things better, we want to hear from you. Again, reach out to the association's email, South End Charlton-Pollard, GHCA@yahoo.com, or you can call me directly at 409-499-9031. And I will definitely relay all the information to you and put you in the communications of our email. And I think we're going to build a text base as well, so that we can get everything out to everybody. Also, there is the City of Beaumont City of Beaumont Emergency response where you register. You can register your cell phone and or home phone to get alerts from weather events or any other event that happens in the area. It's called STAN, STAN, Southeast Texas Area Networking. And you can go there, put your phone number in or your email in, and they'll give you alerts about everything that happens around Southeast Texas. The project duration, again, for the geospatial studies, will take about 2 years. We will be doing trainings, gathering information, and testing out different ideas to make our community healthier again. We look forward to individuals to take opportunity into these trainings. I do have some training applications available as well. I'll stick that in the email. send that to you all via email, so that you can, just distribute that as well. And if anybody needs or wants anything, please feel free to reach out to the association. So identifying stakeholders, government and emergency management. So again, like I said, we have City of Beaumont officials, Emergency Management Department, Public Health Department, and the EPA, local and state branches. We do also have TCEQ, which is a state agency, that, monitors, our environment. Community and non-profit organizations. So we, the South End Charlton-Pollard Greater Historic Community Association, Port Arthur Community, and I do, want to edit that one because they removed themselves. So I'll edit that right now. Local chapters of national health organizations, American Lung Association, cancer societies, everybody that has an ailment that they're trying to either study, understand, or defeat. We definitely want them engaged. I have what's called reflex sympathetic dystrophy or complex regional pain syndrome, and it's from the top of my head to the bottom of my foot, only on the left side. So I'm always in pain, nerve pain all day, every day. Added weather or extreme weather, lightning in particular, adds to the pain. But again, we definitely want to include all those groups so that people that don't have this will understand what I'm going through and what I don't have. I can understand what other neighbors are going through and be able to find resources for them possibly. Health and research institutions, again, Lamar University is engaged, Prairie View A&M is engaged, Texas A&M is engaged, local hospitals and health clinics are also being engaged and incorporated, as well as, again, health advocacy groups and research institutions like the Lincoln Institute. Industry and businesses, local businesses, i.e. Energy, ExxonMobil, Port of Beaumont, small business associations or small businesses, especially those small businesses that are minority owned. We definitely want to reach out to them because during Rita, Katrina, and Ike, that was the largest hit that we took along the entire Gulf Coast was small business owners that couldn't recover. And so we definitely want to be able to offer that insight to our community. Educational institutions like local schools, again, I mentioned, Beaumont Independent School District as the district as a whole, Charlton-Pollard Elementary, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, the Pathways Alternative Learning Center, there's Peach MacArthur Elementary, there's South Park Middle School, there's the Early College High School, there's Beaumont United High School, there's Westbrook High School, and a slew of other elementary schools that we definitely, again, want to engage. This is not just going to happen or just for the resiliency of the South End, but all of Beaumont collectively. So our funding bodies are local, state, and federal grant agencies. If we can acquire more, we will. Philanthropic organizations focus on community and health disaster resilience. We're currently searching all of those, looking for extra funds again to purchase items that will be included in the toolkits, as well as the toolkits themselves, the printing of the toolkit, all of that. Engagement plan, to inform stakeholders about the project's goals, methodology, and anticipated project or anticipated impact. To solicit feedback to refine project strategies and approaches, to foster partnerships for resources, expertise, and support. Again, these are some of the strategies of engagement, presentations and meetings. This is one, community forums will host others, workshops. We'll have another, on Wednesday, community tools, communication tools, I'm sorry. Again, we are using Zoom, text, email, Facebook, YouTube. And again, this is recorded for reference. If there's any other ideal communication tools that we could use, please let me know, and we'll definitely include that option as some way of broadening our communication. Also, on communication, the association is in the process of building its website. Once that does come online, a lot of this information will go to that website as the direct point of contact or marketing or information, however. But we'll definitely be in communication with everyone until that. Directly, we'll just either be calling, texting, or sending emails until we get that domain and everything situated. Project brief, prepare a concise project brief detailing objectives, expected outcomes, how stakeholders can get involved, to be distributed ahead of meetings and forums. Again, we do have a digital platform. We'll be using, like I said, our website, engagement material, develop presentation decks, informational procedures. Again, we have a projector, we have the screen, so that if anything, we need to show anything for individuals, we have all of that already on hand. I think only thing we need now is bodies in the seats. So this is the stakeholder engagement form. Again, the purpose of the form is to gather preliminary interests, contact information, and specific areas of expertise or interest from stakeholders, including residents. There's a sign-in sheet that we have as well. Our pre-engagement consists of emails and texts as much as we've been doing already. During the engagement activities, we will again use our sign-in sheet to get feedback and collect information. Post-engagement, follow up with attendees through email or phone, providing additional information, answering questions, and discussing potential collaborations based on the interests shown in the sign-in sheet. So we'll move to our budget, our projected budget for this entire project, with both projects incorporated, is as follows. Funding sources and allocations, the Lincoln Institute of Land Policy through CSP agreement, total funding is $10,000. Conditions based on deliverables and deadlines. So our first deadline for the Lincoln Institute is May 1st. And we're in line to meet that deadline. That deadline was moved closer. It was, I want to say it was May 18th or something like that, the last time. But they changed that to May 1st. The second progress report is due 8/1, August. And then the draft toolkit report. And again, this is the toolkit that I was mentioning. That will be due 12/8/24. And the final toolkit reporting date is 2/20/2025, February 2025. All of the subtotal from the Lincoln Institute payout to the association would be $10,000. Number 2 is PVA&M interaction funding. Total funding is $15,000. payment structure, a lump sum or split deposit over a 2-year period. Description, initial funding deposit year 1 upon project commencement. Second funding deposit year 2, midway through the project. Total from PV, A&M, and this is projected, from this is our agreement with Prairie View. They are. No, you're fine, you're fine. But they are actually looking to do a lump sum, but we definitely put that in there for oversight, just in case. Number 3 funding source was South End Charlton-Pollard Greater Historic Community Association, that's ourselves. Self-funding, total funding was $5,000. Purpose, kickstart and officiate necessary engagements and professional developments. Initial project funding covers 2 years of project expenses, including workshops, materials, and local travel for stakeholder engagement. Total initial funding from the South End was $5,000. Contingency fund, total funding is $800. Purpose, cover any unforeseen circumstances. Descriptions are to be used as needed. Total project funding sources, Lincoln Institute land policy, $10,000, PVA&M, $15,000, South End Charlton-Pollard self-funding, $5,000, contingency fund, $800, grand total of $30,800. Any questions about the budget? Anything we need to add to the budget? Awesome, awesome. So again, the budget outlines financial strategies for effective managing the integrated project, highlighting the South End, Charlton-Pollard proactive investment to enhance both disaster resiliency and public health systems through advanced planning and community collaboration. The benefits to the South End Charlton-Pollard are as follows: enhanced capacity, leveraging funds from CSP and PVM will significantly enhance the association's capacity to manage disaster recovery and public health improvements effectively. The integration of scenario planning with geospatial public health data systems maximizes resources use, expands the community's ability to make data-driven decisions. This project will directly, community impact, I'm sorry. This project will directly benefit the Beaumont, Port Arthur community by improving disaster preparedness, resiliency, and public health outcomes. Thereby contributing to safer and healthier community environments. Sustainable development, by meeting the deliverables and utilizing the budget judiciously, South End Charlton-Pollard Greater Historic Community Association will establish a model for similar communities nationwide, demonstrating the effectiveness of integrated approach to tackling complex social challenges. This detailed budget and project outline ensures that all financial aspects are transparent and carefully planned, setting the stage for successful project execution and substantial community impact. Any questions as of yet? And I don't see any online. So we're doing good. Awesome. So I want to say on the 15th, we released a press release to our local medias, Beaumont 4, 6, and 2. I want to say channel 12 and channel 6. We also released to Cumulus Radio and several other radio stations in the area. The Beaumont Enterprise, the Examiner as well, has this press release, and I was about to say I'm hoping the camera's not outside, but But they will definitely be in from time to time, throughout the 2-year time span, checking in on us to see, what information we have for the community. Again, I do believe we sent this press release out to the greater, to the email actually. And hopefully, again, like I said, we'll build that engagement, that awareness that we're expecting and looking for from the community. So the review and refinement section of this, again, that comes as we engage, the stakeholder engagement, that's an ongoing, as well as the engagement plan. How do we pretend or proceed to engage? We're doing flooding now, especially being that we're getting ready for hurricane season, so that kind of fits with the theme or with the time. I'm not sure when we're going to do the mental health and, I'm sure it's gonna segue into it though. But I'm looking at somewhere around, November, October, November, somewhere around there. Funding and resource mobilization. Again, we will need funding for the items that will go into the toolkit, as well as printing other materials. So we'll be seeking funding for that as well. Implementing the planning, project timeline again is allocated for 2 years with the Prairie View study and, up until February with the Lincoln Institute. So resource allocation, of course, we outlined, the resources, community strategy. As we engage and come up with, strategies that will be, ideal, not just for, a senior population or an older group, but one that would, encourage youth engagement and participation. I would definitely like, for something like that to come across. Regular updates, again, we'll definitely continue to keep everyone posted on, emails and other sources that we come up with for communication. Monitoring and evaluation. This portion will come under the, air test monitoring and home and, outside monitoring, as well as the water, testing. And I'm not sure, Jill, we may have to get with you, in particular on sending those, samples in. I don't know. And just, we'll be in touch. And Miss Powers, I definitely want to be able to, put you in touch with the Prairie View A&M, team that we have, the geospatial team that we have. They are also doing, data collection, especially when it comes to the survey, that we'll be, distributing as well. Once that survey is done, I'll definitely send it over to the general email, of the association, and the, after the aftermath team, so that, again, everything is communicated and compiled, and we'll understand the move that we're going in. Documentation and reporting, of course, everything is being documented for, not just the, Lincoln Institute or Prairie View, but for the association as well. Because again, this is something that we don't just want to do today and tomorrow that, we're done. So we'll keep these, in our documentation as long as we possibly can, so that, there will be, shared information. Awesome, awesome, Ms. Powers. I'm looking forward to seeing. Um, any questions as of yet? Awesome. So, future plannings, um, scalable and replication. Consider how the projects approach, and I definitely wanted to scroll all the way to the future. Um, we, we wanna, again, we wanna do this because um, we wanna be engaged with our neighbors. We wanna be genuine. We wanna know what the need is and possibly meet the need of our neighbor so that advocacy for us is then easier because now we have built a relationship. We have, met the need of our neighbor. And they are now, seriously 100% engaged in the association because they see the benefit. Sustainability, develop strategies to ensure the project's long-term sustainability, including plans for ongoing funding, stakeholder engagement, and community involvement. Again, there's a lot of community engagement and involvement that happens outside of this neighborhood association. But the neighborhood association would definitely like to participate in all of these ongoings so that we can give this information out, right? So we would need, little small printeds, maybe like a little small flyer or some sort that we can once we go to these events, we can leave, those flyers with data and information, contact information, and what it is that we're doing. As well as all of the sponsors and partners that we have. So I do want to ask, and I'll again put this into the email. I want to ask every entity and organization or representative of organizations, please send over a small bio of yourself and a picture. And that will be included in our overall communication and packet. And even, I might even ask if we can put that into your bio and contact information or your group and contact information into the toolkit once we complete that. So that, again, they'll have those references other than just, hey, left shoe on, right shoe on. Now we have people to say, yeah, that this is how you do it. Any questions? Awesome. I definitely appreciate you ladies, this morning for, sustaining with me. And I look forward to, working on more projects with you, Jill, as well as Miss Liza. Um, there will be, like I said, the meeting on Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the same spot, same Zoom. And we will be meeting, of course, our monthly meetings or every second Tuesday of the month, starting at 6:30, same place, same Zoom. And if there's anything that I forgot, please, remind me. Please remind me.
Would you be willing to share this document that you just went through today over email, just so we have it as like a reference for moving
Yes,
forward?
ma'am. Yes,
Awesome.
ma'am. I'll definitely make sure I put that in the feedback from today's engagement. Any other questions? Awesome. Well, again, I greatly appreciate you all. Thank you. And we hope to see you on Wednesday. God bless, have a good day.